ahead and call meeting to order. Calling to order the New Orleans Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation meeting for Tuesday, February 20th. We'll have a roll call. Keisha Turkey.
Present.
McConnell, present. Chris Hammond.
Present.
Chris is in the penalty box. Present. Jessica Addison. Absent. Mark Heck.
Present.
Ron McCriddle. Roger Watkins.
Present.
And folks, we have two new board members, Wendy Washington
Present.
and Ryan Banks.
Present.
Thank you all for your service. They were appointed right after the meeting in January. So thank you all for coming on board and volunteering. We appreciate your service. Thank you so very much. All right. Do we have any proposed amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, I get a motion to approve the agenda. Next meeting.
So move.
Motion by Hammond, second by Watkins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, presentation of the agenda. First item on our agenda is to approve the minutes from the January 9th meeting. Do we have anybody, any amendments to the minutes? I have one, and nobody else has any. So I'm passing out to board members. I'll take blame for this. So there is a change in the minutes that was sent out. When we went through the bylaws and proposed the proposed changes to the bylaws, and then I sent them out, we made the changes that were made at the meeting, regular meeting, and then sent them out to everybody to say, is this what your understanding of it was? And everybody came back and we seemed to have it. I'm the one that worked with the administration to make sure we had all those right, and I had overlooked something on page 3. It was about the meeting. So what was sent out to board members to say, is this what we approved? And we all kind of overlooked it, was the Article 3 meetings, Section 1, annual regular meetings, B. And what I have just handed out to you is what the actual was approved at the meeting. And it reflects the exact wording of the proposed law from the recording of the meeting. So I'm just going to read it and ask that we amend the minutes that were sent out for approval and then approve the minutes if there's no other amendments to it. And so it was B. It said, said regular meetings of the board shall be scheduled to occur at 6:30 on the second Tuesday of each month at 403 North Roadway, New Orleans, Louisiana. Meetings may be temporarily relocated due to availability. That's what was left out. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't left out. The next one was left out. Meetings may be rescheduled temporarily due to conflicting schedules. For instance, today. So the meeting would have fallen on Mardi Gras, but we moved it because of that. So that had gotten convoluted and left out. So meetings may be rescheduled temporarily due to conflicting schedules. When necessary, a monthly meeting may be canceled by the president with the consensus of the executive committee. However, meetings shall be held at a minimum of one meeting per month one meeting per calendar quarter, and a minimum of one meeting every 3 months. That is exactly what we said at the meeting and approved, but what was sent out in the minutes did not say that. It had left out the ability to move the meetings. So I just would ask that we adopt that, get a motion to adopt that as an amendment to the minutes that were sent out. Second being by Heck, second by Watkins. All those, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Can I abstain from voting just because?
Yes. I will say Ryan and Ryan and Wendy should abstain, because y'all weren't part of that meeting. So carry that they abstained from the approving minutes. Next, a motion to accept the minutes as they were sent out with the amendment that I just read.
I have a question.
Yes.
Discussion and it doesn't change the.
Yes, we can.
So it says shall be held at a minimum of one meeting per calendar quarter. So that means that we as a board can have discussion about not meeting monthly.
If we chose that, I mean, we did discuss that,
Yeah, we did
remember at the
discuss it,
meeting.
and I just wanted
And
to
simply to
make
say
sure
that we don't, because we're now giving ourselves the authority, the previous minutes, the previous bylaws did not even give us the authority to cancel meetings, which we violated, and did, you know, when it fell on a holiday and stuff, our board, our staff, executive staff was, administrative staff was off, and we're not making them come in on a holiday. So we wanted to put there something that allowed us to cancel. Then we wanted to put in a checks and balance on feedback from our staff of, there are things that gotta be approved, budgets and different things. And so we shouldn't just say, you can cancel a meeting month after month after month, you should put some limitation. And so we put that last sentence in that said, you can't cancel them more than, and have less than one per quarter, and you can't go more than 3 months. So theoretically, you could cancel 3 in the first quarter and 3 in the second quarter, and not have a meeting for 6 months. So that was the checks and balances there, and that's why that was. Saying, so that's verbatim actually taken from the recording. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda is a resolution thanking Captain Keith Amaker, retired, for his service on the board. Everybody knows Keith served a term on the board. That actually expired last April. He continued to serve until now we have new board members. Whereas the New Orleans Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation is a public benefit corporation of the City of New Orleans, which leases from the City of New Orleans its property rights at West End. And whereas the Municipal Yacht Harbor Corporation is responsible for operation and management of the city's assets in the West End area. And whereas Keith Amaker has been volunteering actively as the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation as a member of the Board of Directors of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation. And whereas Captain Keith Amaker has worked very closely with the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation Board and staff, providing consistent and uninterrupted dedication to the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Directors of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation expresses its heartfelt thanks to Captain Keith Amaker for his service, leadership, and guidance they provided to New Orleans Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation. Dated February 20th, 2020. Undersigned certifies that they are properly appointed and qualified Secretary of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation, the corporation duly. Lost my place. Yacht Harbor Corporation duly conformed pursuant to the laws of the state of Louisiana, and that said meeting was held in accordance with the state law and bylaws of the above mentioned corporation. This resolution has been approved by the Board of Directors of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation on the 20th of February, 2020. As I, as authorized by the company, hereby certify and attest that all the information above is true and correct. That was signed. I'd like a motion to approve the resolution, which would then be framed and given to Captain Amaker.
So moved.
Motion by Chris Hammond,
Second.
second by Mark Heck. Any discussion? Motion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is the resolution. Oh no, I'm sorry. The report of the nominating committee. So the nominating committee was formed to accept nominations for the executive board of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation Board. The names submitted at this point are myself for president. We received 4, 1 for each position. Myself for president, Chris Hammond for vice president, Dr. Manya Criddle as the secretary, and Roger Watkins as the treasurer. We didn't receive any other names. Those are the names that we put forth at the annual meeting, which will occur at the same time as our regular meeting next month. That's a nomination by committee. So is there any discussion? Any of the board members, anybody? All right. We'll accept those nominations, and at the next meeting, those will be voted on. And they can our bylaws allow us to accept nominations from the floor if any of the board members want to put their name in, at that meeting. Or prior to, or at that meeting, I'm sorry. All right. So, I don't think we need a motion to accept those nominations at this point, Brian? No, but at next meeting, we'll vote on whether those to be appointed to those positions. All right, next item is a resolution on the 2023 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire. The resolution reads, whereas the New Orleans Municipal Yacht Harbor Management Corporation is a public benefit corporation for the City of New Orleans, which leases from the City of New Orleans its property rights at West End, and whereas the Yacht Harbor Corporation is placed in control of its own funds in 2010, and whereas the Municipal Yacht Harbor is required to have an annual audit of its financial records and practices, and whereas the Municipal Yacht Harbor entered into a contract with the public accounting firm Bruno and Turbalon LLP for the purpose of preparing its 2023 audit, and whereas the Municipal Yacht Harbor is required as part of the financial audit to complete, adopt, and provide Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire attached here to as Exhibit A to Bruno and Turbalon LLP prior to the commencement of the 2023 audit. And whereas Municipal Yacht Harbor confirms that the responses to the questionnaire have been made to the best of Municipal Yacht Harbor's knowledge and belief. Be resolved, the Board of Directors of Municipal Yacht Harbor hereby formally adopts the completed Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire by a formal resolution in an open meeting attached hereto as Exhibit A, and authorizes the President, Treasurer, and Secretary to execute and provide a copy of the completed Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire and copy of this resolution to Bruno and Turbalon LLP. The undersigned certifies that they are the properly appointed and qualified Secretary of the Municipal Yacht Harbor, a corporation duly conformed pursuant to the laws of the state of Louisiana, and that said meeting was held in accordance with state laws and the bylaws of the above named corporation. This resolution has been approved by the Board of Directors of the Municipal Yacht Harbor Corporation on 20th of February 2020. I, as authorized by the company, hereby certifying the test that all the information above is true and correct. And that will be signed. Can I get a motion to accept that? Motion and a second. A motion by Dr. Krill. Second by Roger Watkins. All right. I'm not sure if everybody had a chance to review it, but this is a standard, legal document that's mandated by state laws. And we submit this answering questions to the auditor, who then goes through and conducts that audit, but they need these questions answered. Each board member should have also received in the mail, if you didn't, talk to Brian, and I'll make sure you get one, a questionnaire, personal questionnaire as a board member stating various questions as to whether you have a conflict of interest, whether you've done any inside dealings with the board and everything. And you answer those and then send it directly to the auditor. So if anybody has not received that, please get with our staff as quick as you can so you can get it to the auditor so they can start their, commence their audit. Yes, it should have come, it should with a self-addressed envelope. Self-addressed stamped envelope going to Bruno and Turtle. And if you answered anything other than no, think about the resignation. No, I'm sorry. But it's all, the question ahead, it's all, if you answer yes, you're saying you had some kind of conflict that you didn't reveal. So, that's not to say if you answered yes, and there was, but you need to reveal it to the auditors. Okay. Any comments from anyone? Any cards? No. All right. All those in favor of accepting the resolution? Say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Resolution is accepted. Passed unanimously. Okay. Next is our financial report. Mr. Watkins.
As of December 31st, 2023, Municipal Yacht Harbor has total assets of $17,805,100 with current assets of $3.99 million, and the bulk of which is in the form of cash, $3.720 million, in two accounts at JP Morgan Chase Bank. Net fixed assets total $1.348 million. Other assets include leases receivable of $12.295 million, and deferred outflow of pension resources of $166,100. On the liability side, the Yacht Harbor Corporation has total liabilities 13.677 million, of which 912,900 are current liabilities, consisting mainly of accounts payable and accrued expenses of 368,100, unearned revenues of 367,700, and annual accrued sick leave of 167,100. Long-term liabilities consisted of net pension liability of 496,100 and 12.268 million for deferred inflow of long-term leases. That leaves Yacht Harbor Corporation with total equity of 4.127 million, of which 3,627,400 is unrestricted net assets. For the month of January, Yacht Harbor Corporation had revenues of 187,000 and operating expenses of 367,100, which resulted in a net loss of 180,100. In January, the Yacht Harbor Corporation contracted to have 120 trees pruned at a cost of 180,500, which was not budgeted and as a one-time expense. The harbor's occupancy is 93%.
All right, motion to accept the financial report.
So moved.
Chris Hammond, motion by Hammond, second.
Second.
Second by Mark Heck. Any discussion? Any questions from any board members? Any comment cards?
No.
None. Seeing none, we'll have a vote. All those in favor of accepting the financial report? Recommended. Any opposed? Motion passes. The director report. I'm White.
Currently, the update on Sailing Center construction is that it finished driving piles. We've not had any issues reported to us. Wish them well moving forward. Staff hiring. Currently have 2 grounds patrol officers on staff and the 3rd hire in process. Fishing pier, no update. Still in negotiations with FEMA and capital projects. Sale of boathouses. The ordinance is at this point being routed through the city. It's been approved by the law department and is moving to the next step. That should hopefully be finished routing next week and get on the next city council meeting to lay over and then approval. Once that happens, we set up an auction and move forward with auction here. Boathouse 127 issues we discussed in the last meeting were some repairs to the entrance. Those have been completed. West End Park, Breakwater Park, again, continuing site upgrades. Plumber was contracted to repair all the drinking fountains and hose spigots. These parts have been, they did a survey, found all the parts they needed and ordered the parts. They came in this week, so hopefully the water fountains and spigots in the park will all be operational, hopefully by the end of the week. Which haven't worked since Katrina, as far as I'm aware of. Permitting issues that we have. We still haven't had any of the maps that the city uses updated. Although we're trying the real estate and records initially had some hesitation about some issues with permits in the area, but they don't have any more. So the next time we need to do a permit to move any of our projects forward, we're going to force the issue and just get the city to do it. Parking lot rental, notification of illegally parked vehicles in the western parking lot. Dry storage area was sent out. Signage has been installed, and trailer owners or any trailer or vehicle owners that have vehicles in that lot are requested to contact us by March 11th to either start paying us, sign an agreement, or remove your vehicles. Marina Wi-Fi, concrete pads were installed. We're still waiting on the pole delivery, but it should happen any day. I was told that they would arrive in March, so pretty soon. Previous quality of life, the boat launch lights have all been adjusted. If there's any issues, please let me know. Point parking improvements and other striping. We received the drawings for the eastern entrance of the marina. I'm going to contract with a striper to come out and paint those. And then I'm meeting with the design team for park improvements to kind of discuss some details about their ideas. West End development expenses. 2023 expenses were $65,666.85. This year's expenses, $2,220. That's all I have for the director's report.
Any board members have any comments about the executive director's report?
Yes, I'd like to commend Brian. When I drove out earlier this evening, everything is really beautiful. Trees cut, everything well manicured. Park really looked great. I want to take the opportunity to congratulate you. You've done a great job in what I can see and what's going on out here.
Thank you.
You're here. Any other board members?
A question about number 8. So you said that the trailer owners requested to contact us by March 11th. Does that mean to rent the space? Okay, and so if they don't rent the space by March 11th, what's the next step?
Basically, we move forward with the legal notifications required for removal.
So like towing, perhaps?
And depending on what kind of vehicle it is and other situations, some of them we may have to bid, because if it's a regular simple vehicle, there's lots of regulations involved. I can just use a towing company, but if it's something that's going to be expensive or likely to be destroyed, then it could cost more than a standard tow, and I would have to go out to bid. If we feel like that Yacht Harbor is likely to have to pay for it to be destroyed or whatever, and it's over a certain dollar threshold, we'll have to bid individually.
Do we have anything like that?
I was gonna say, give us an example of this type of vehicle. There's somebody large trailer.
There's 2 RVs, or not big RVs, but they're like box truck looking things, or small RV, box truck things, those things.
That trailer that was like an office or some kind of laboratory.
Yeah, I know about that one. Yeah, I'm good with that one. So,
So do you know who the trailers are? Because you said to give them notice that you put a sticker on it?
yeah, we will sticker everything. I've emailed all the boathouse owners. So,
Okay, that sounds good. I'm sure they will be glad to hear that, and as long as it happens after that time. So thinking March 11th, so by March 30th, there shouldn't be any trailers, at least not the same ones.
Well, they don't pay us rent, they don't pay us rent.
Right, yeah, that's not paying rent. And if they're paying rent, there's a certain location they have to go to, right? Or we don't pay rent on the street. If it's-
No, we're talking about in the lot. This is about the
That's the lot, so that does not include the
street.
streets that, okay. So then what happens to the ones that are on the street? They do not get the same?
no, we can't control the street like that. Several of the trailers in the last few weeks have been towed. City, I reported a large amount of them. City stickered and towed quite a few of them. Some of the ones the city won't sticker because the parking force regulations are different here than they are in a lot of the city. If I can determine the owner and it's a boathouse owner, they're in violation of their lease. If I can't
It
find
could be
them,
someone from outside, that's just.
if it's someone from outside and they're obeying the parking regulations, they can do it.
Brian, can you explain a little bit more about what regulations, what difference? So if it's a boathouse owner, we can't tow it?
And if it's a boathouse owner, we can, well, so.
We can take action, but we can't have the city tow it.
It just depends on what is wrong with the trailers. If the trailer has expired plates, the city will tow them. If the plates aren't expired, they have to be moved periodically. I'm not sure what the exact regulation is.
They can't stay parked in the same
They
spot.
can't take park
for a certain
spaces
period of
for a
time.
certain period of time. But if they're legally documented and licensed,
Do they need a brake tag too?
just a,
With the process of being able to sell the boathouses at auction, you said that's going up to city council. Are the city council people aware of it? Like, is some departments they group them on it, or does it just come up and they decide it?
now, once it's routed,
Yeah,
then it gets on the desk, and then we reach out.
start this conversation.
And typically the-
Whole check sheet, the system that goes through each, and all the different departments have to sign off.
And the city council,
A dozen.
the city council traditionally, as far as I've always seen them, they for land use issues, always refer to the city council members whose district it is 100% of the time, as far as I'm aware. And this district is Drew's, and we're working with him on other things, so.
Any other questions from the board members?
Brian, do you know what the auction process will look like when we get there? Do we have to like in-house do that ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like it goes to the
It's
sheriff's
not a
office?
sheriff's
Okay.
department, or legal house. So if you know any auctioneers. But it's likely we'll do it here or something.
Yep.
Any other questions from the
The
board?
stone paving, so have you met with them recently, and what are they up to?
Yeah, well, they've been helping with lots of stuff, but specifically on the development, they've just been working with Jeruso to bring in some of the non-boards.
Other governmental
parties,
entities,
government elected officials, and starting to brief them on what's going on. But that's it. Those haven't happened yet. We're preparing to brief all the elected officials who.
Any other comments from board members, questions from board members? Comment cards?
No.
Okay. All right. The next item on our agenda is the Rules and Standards Committee, which did not meet this month, did not have any business. Unfinished business, do not have anything on that. Economic Street Development Committee, Brian, other than what you just reported, do you have anything additional?
I do not.
Not management. Do I have any comment cards on any of those?
Nope.
Quality of Life Committee.
Yes, so we met, an hour before this meeting, and we just want to commend, Brian and staff for meeting a lot of the requests that we mentioned. One of them was the launch lights, and you noticed in your director's report that has been adjusted. So I appreciate that, and many other things that we've said in the past, that the turnaround has been good. We also reported the trees look really good, that part, is starting really to come around, so, they show their appreciation for those things. That's the good part, the next part. So there were some concerns, and, I just gathered a list of the concerns here. One of the questions continued to be about the blighted property and, what's the steps there. And if there is a list of blighted property, we know from our constituents here, the one or two that they always mention. But wondering if, for the next meeting, if the board can see a list of those blighted properties, so we can kind of keep an eye and see the status as you aggressively, try to address those different boat owners. Also, the park, someone mentioned about there seems to be a flea tick infestation. I mean, that was from one person, I don't know if that's widespread, maybe that's something you can check out. Flea ticks, like in the, I don't know if that's widespread, but maybe it's something that you can check out, maybe the workers, I don't know, but that's what was mentioned. The pressure washing, we talked about that before, and I didn't hear it in your director's report, at least this time, because it may have already been addressed. But there's still other requests to have the pressure washing. One of our, both homeowners already started the process, so we can continue. And then there was a question about the tree trimming and how far, because there were some, most of the trees were trimmed, but some weren't. So which trees does that, I guess, cover, the contract covers? And, if it does not cover all of the trees or whatever, how could we include that in the contract, in the upcoming contract? we also, that's a question, and I'll just ask all the questions and then you can respond. Also about mowing, they noticed that the mowing the grass was a little different.
Yeah, just to clarify something, so since meeting with you, the tree trimming was about trees that are between the sidewalk and the street, some were trimmed and some weren't. And so that was the question, and, you know, Mr. Casale had talked about something directly in front of him, so just that's, when you go to answer that, I just wanted to clarify. What we, you know, that was me, I'm not saying there weren't others, but that was the one that was brought up at that meeting specifically, that why was some between the sidewalk and the street trimmed and others not? Was it the type of tree, was it its location, so. And there were others mentioned, but that's the, I think, the main crux of that, my concern, go ahead.
That's okay. That's question number one. Question number two was about, the, lawn care. It seemed to be a little different. I maybe thought because of the winter, but they said that it's inconsistent. It's not, it used to be mowed every week, and now it's different. And then the last question was about the dumpster. We were told that a dumpster was gonna be ordered or placed, but instead they're trash cans behind the gate or fence or some sort. I don't know if you can address that. And you already mentioned about the trailers, the storage area, or the area where there will be trailers that they pay rent in that particular area. Just kind of talk a little bit about that for clarity. Because I'm not certain about that either. So again, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff I mentioned, but there are 4 questions about the contract with the tree trimming, the mowing the grass, and the schedule, and the dumpster versus garbage cans. I don't know exactly, behind the gate, so maybe you know what we're talking about. And then the trailer storage, or the rental storage, or I guess trailers or any other cars or something like that. So those are the questions that we have. You can answer those questions.
Okay, tree trimming contract was for the oak trees and dead trees. So some dead trees were removed, the oak trees.
So it didn't include the palm trees?
Trimming wise,
Okay.
they were trimmed, the trees were trimmed for, you know, health, for beauty, but no, it was for the oak trees and for the, any of the dead trees. So the palm trees that were dead were removed. Lawn
I
mowings.
do want to clarify with that though. We got information from people who rent the boathouses or live in boathouses that it seemed like they trimmed other trees, but not the same identical tree that wasn't an oak tree in another spot. So I forgot the variety. One was palm, there was another one, somebody mentioned.
Oleander, the oleanders.
Oleander, so they trimmed some oleanders, but not others, they skipped, and I don't know what made them make the decision, it's probably worth an inquiry. I understand the contract, you're right now, I'm thinking about it, was just for oak trees.
The oleanders was the big bushy ones right here. They did it for free as a courtesy to just increase parking.
Okay. All right.
So that answers that question.
The lawn mowing, as it's been going on, as long as Wayne's been here, we always slow down in the winter, because the grass doesn't grow as fast.
And so slowing down in the winter, is that once
It's
every
about
2
one.
weeks or once a month?
It's about once a month. It's once every 10 days in the summer, or spring, summer, fall. In the winter, it's about once a month. It was cut today. The dumpster, I'm not really sure if that question is.
Yeah, I will.
So I think, I'm sorry, let me, we had a pad poured and a fence put up to do the dumpster.
No, that was permitting on shallow like that. So that was the fix. That's the next step. I've done everything I could permitting wise.
Okay.
The prime getting this done. That's the next step.
Sorry, wrong meeting.
Okay.
So I don't understand, so what?
Where is this located in Liz, you were the one that brought it up?
No, but
Okay.
I was just, it wasn't a complaint at all, it was a suggestion. You have a bunch of trash cans in there right now that don't look like they're being used.
I'm not really sure what in
Where
there
are you
is.
talking about?
Well, you sectioned off some fence, I may be confused. You sectioned off some fence for a dumpster.
No.
What's that section next to where the boats are? At the end, there's a bunch of trash cans.
Down at the very end, down here.
At the
with
very end of the
trains.
street down there. And it
By
just-
your boathouse.
No, it's by
No,
Charles's
this
boathouse.
is-
but-
It's in the yard right
I'm
now.
sorry.
Yeah, let's find out where we're talking about.
I'm
That's what we're
sorry.
trying to do right now.
It's by the no trespassing sign.
Right, it's just by the, where you're gonna rent the
Power
boats.
Squadron?
It's
Across
where-
from
It's
that.
the same piece of property that you're renting the boats on right now. You're gonna rent the
Trailer
boats on, the trailer rentals. It's just at the end of it, there's a whole bunch of stacked up garbage cans. I thought, I may be wrong, that you were gonna fence off an area for a dumpster. And those garbage cans wound up there. A lot of them are full of water and they're mosquito stuff and they've fallen over. I was just wondering if they could take some of that plastic stuff and put in the fence, it would look a lot better. That was all I suggested.
Okay.
And then it turned into, well, I thought that was supposed to be a dumpster.
Well, it was.
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
We were not, didn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
That never happened. I know they were working on it, getting a permit and everything, and.
Well, I don't know
the
what
city
those
shut-
trash
the city-
cans are there for.
Sorry, the city shot us down.
Yeah.
Let Brian now answer. Brian, you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, those trash cans all belong to Metro Disposal, who we got a contract with, and they were all cans around the park, and they never picked them up, so,
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah,
I'll follow up.
okay, that's all I was asking. So it's, the city wouldn't permit you for a dumpster? That's odd. Wonder why?
And then the trailer storage lot, like I said, we sent out info, and we have a lease agreement. It's a month-to-month lease agreement, for anybody that wants to legally park trailer or vehicle in the West lot for $175 a month, except to reach out.
Well, that concludes the report from the quality of life. And check to see if we have some comments
Real quick, though, Brian, is it safe to say that leasing is now available? If anybody wants to contact you?
Yes.
Okay. And you've sent out notice. All right, comment cards on quality of life from board members, or not comment cards, but any board members have any comments or questions on quality of life? All right, comment cards. quality of life.
Clarifying a point there is, I had a question, if the trees that are between the sidewalk and the street are the homeowner's responsibility, or if they're the city's, parking parkways, if they're ours, or if we're doing these contracts, couldn't we just add something and give a homeowner an option? I have 4 palm trees, so like they did trim a couple of them, like they trimmed the oleanders for free, they trimmed 2 of my palm trees for free, they didn't trim the other 2. So it seems like we periodically having these trees come through and get trimmed, and we could look at what, and I realize Breakwater doesn't have any sidewalk, but on our side, on North Roadway, we do. So maybe there's a potential where we find out, is there a way to piggyback off of any contract? There's only a handful of trees that would be subject to that. I did want to bring up that, that we did see yesterday, the city issued its parks report, and it did say that in July, they were going to look at seemingly bringing the park into under city control. So I seen if you guys were aware of that, if you wanted to comment on that. The park report talked about, the need for health and exercise, and that 18% of the city, I think, or maybe more, is over 65. So that's something to be thinking about. I talked about saving wildlife sanctuaries. I did have a question. I actually went up to Monroe, and they had the parks people had a deal on their grants, because there's some grants that are out there that are 4-to-1 matching right now for the state. The HRNA, we talked about that they were supposed to be interaction with the city, the neighborhood here, and I know Joe Geruso said he put an end to that. So is that, we're not going to have anything with HRNA? That was a question. because the contract called for H&R to have meetings with us. So that was a question I had. And, you know, like last week, I asked if the parking and the trees were factored into their feasibility. That's it.
So, let me take it one at a time, right? So the report that you forwarded it to us, and I appreciate that, thank you. I'm not familiar with it, I haven't read it yet, so I asked, and I responded to you that, wait till next month, where everybody can get a view on it and try and get questions answered. So I'll have to ask you again, if it interests the general public and this board, if it probably interests the people who administer this, ask you to add them to your address. Just,
Sure.
so they be aware of stuff that's going on and can assist us, assist this board in its efficient operation. My take, and I invite and ask every other board member to think about it and weigh in if you have an opinion on it, is we should follow suit similar to the city. If the trees are between the sidewalk and the street, it would seem to be, it should be our responsibility, much like the trees in the city. They're between the sidewalk and the street, they're the cities. And so I think we ought to add them, Brian, to our next cycle of it, or if you deem, you know, have your maintenance guy maybe assessment, if you deem it's necessary now, bring by you back out, let's look at, you know, I understand that the original contract, as expensive as it was just the open massive oak trees and stuff, but it would seem to me to make sense to, you know, do that evaluation and take that responsibility. The grants, once again, we always ask Mr. Masal, if you got information about grants are available, please forward that to us, get it to us so we can apply for them and we are interested in grants. As far as HRNA, there will be meetings, that has not changed. It's just, we're not at that point yet. I wish we were, we're not yet. But when I promise you there will be meetings, public meetings, all the input, everything we promised this, the community will happen. That's one thing I have. Does anybody have any comment or questions? Any other comment cards?
Liz?
Brian, this is for you specifically. Can you tell me what you've done about Boathouse 50 that I've talked about for a pretty long time
An
now?
eviction letter was sent out with the official
Yeah.
notice.
Did she respond?
The notice hasn't
Oh,
expired, so she still has some time
okay.
to respond.
Oh my God.
You just read it.
So like what will happen now?
I think, Brian, I'm sorry, I'm a step. I think to manage expectations as a landlord myself, I would not ask my administration to go beyond, we've issued an eviction notice. And that to come to public meetings and give every little drama that may go back and forth between that tenant, who lease has a legal lease with us, till we finish our process, probably not appropriate. I don't think anybody else in that situation, but he did right or wrong, he found himself in that situation, wouldn't appreciate every little aspect of drama back and forth to be discussed at the public meeting. Let us take our, it's kind of like when you see the thing of, we're in a lawsuit, we're not responding to what they tell the media.
So long as something
We're not in a
is-
lawsuit, but we
so
are
long
in
as something is
we are
happening.
maybe in the first steps of, you know, when you give somebody an eviction notice, it's a legal matter.
Oh.
So I'd ask that, and we will tell people when that has started, but I don't think beyond that is appropriate for trying to
Okay.
be commenting
that's
on
fine.
all the going back and forth that may happen. Sorry. Step on.
Yeah.
Any other, Liz, sorry. step
No,
on.
that's my biggest concern.
I appreciate it. Any other comment cards?
Thank you.
Discussions.
Okay, I think you mentioned about, Boathouse 50 and Boathouse 127. This is on your report, repairs to the entrance completed. And I know we talked about 127, one of them with next.
That's ours, that we're getting ready, the ordinance that we're getting ready to get passed, so we can dispose it, we want to get it secured, so that, about getting it secured until we get to that, ordinance solution and
Okay, and
dispose it.
so it's been secured and the repairs and the entrance completed, that's what this is.
Thank you, everyone. I know quality of life on being one of the most hot button issues to affect. Security and Safety Committee did not meet, but Pam, do you have anything?
We'll meet before the next meeting downstairs.
The next meeting will be like before the March meeting. All right, we do not have anything to go into executive session about this month. Yay. And so the next meeting, we have any other comment cards? Nothing, huh? No. Okay. The next meeting will be March 12th, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes. And that is the annual meeting.
All right, so that will be our regular meeting and coincide with our annual meeting, at which time we will take the nominations that we currently have, or any nominations from the floor, to have the executive team voted on by the board. Once again, I want to thank our new board members, Brian Banks and Linda Washington. Appreciate y'all stepping up and coming on board, and every other board member that puts in their service. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion for Watkins to adjourn. All those in favor, I'm sorry.
All right.
All right, opposed? Vote.